Great. Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
Oh, go ahead, Ramona.
Oh, yeah, I can do the intro. All right, well, welcome to STROLO-University. STROLO-U was created at the start of COVID pandemic as a way to offer both physical and mental activities to help classes benefit cystic fibrosis community through difficult months while society isolated at home. The CFLF expanded this program with new spring and fall semester this year, adding brand new classes and incorporating more educational and formative classes to the mix. The CFLF would like to thank all of the individual supporters and STROLO-U instructors for their participation in making STROLO-University a positive resource and experience for people with CF. We hope you enjoyed today's class. Please keep checking our website at thecflf.org /STROLO-U and our Facebook page with more class updates. We have registration available for classes at 2 weeks at a time, so keep checking for new classes being added throughout the semester. And I would also like to thank our sponsorships, Chiesi, Beatrice, Translate Bio, and Nestle Health Science, and also Chelsea for being our instructor today. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. Brian, would you like to add anything else before we get our class rolling?
I think Rima covered it. Really grateful to have you with leading our practicing mindfulness. And I think we all could use a little bit more of that.
Yes.
So hopefully those watching will gain some benefit and be able to integrate this as part of their more regular lives. So thank you again. Really looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Like they said, my name is Chelsea. Welcome, everyone. We're going to be doing some mindfulness, meditation, and work today. For class, I'd love for you to have something nearby, like a journal, even a sticky note, anything that you can write on just to get your thoughts out on the paper, or even just write my prompts down and you can come back to them later on if you have more time. But we are going to get started. We're going to be talking today about what I call pranayama. And you may have heard this word before, and this is a yogi term that maybe you're like, yeah, I think I know what that is. Brian, would you mind muting yourself?
I'm sorry. Thank you.
You're good.
Real quick question too. People that are watching, do we want to let them know is there going to be some discussion or questions following this, or hang on till the end?
Yeah, hang on till the end. We have some journal topics and we can definitely take some questions at the end if there are any.
Great, awesome. Muting now.
Perfect. Well, yeah, like Brian said, everyone, if you do have any questions, feel free to pop them in on our Facebook as that's coming in if you have any interest. And I'd love to go over that at the end. But like I said, pranayama, you may have heard this term and you're like, oh, wow, that seems really out there. That seems weird. That's some yoga term for someone who's like sitting cross-legged on a mountain. Actually, no, it's related to all of us. So pranayama isn't just breath control, which is what it directly translates to, pranayama. It's not about breath control or breathing techniques. It's really about what I like to think of as the expansion of prana. And even as I say that, you might be like, wow, this girl's really weird. All that means is prana is the life energy in us. It's that vital energy, and yama is just the control. So you're controlling the energy in your body. You're controlling the energy in what you put out into the world, what's internal. So that can even translate into the energy of anxiety, the energy of feeling worried or anxious or happy or joyful. So that's really what, to me, pranayama means. And you can find hundreds of different denominations that'll say something different. But to me, it's really that breath is the physical aspect and external manifestation of prana. So the energy, we know that when I say external manifestation, we know that when we get anxious, we go, our shoulders come up, our breathing gets super tight, and we can feel that all of a sudden, it's not just the breath, it's a completely physical transformation of an emotion. And that's that energy that's flowing through the body. Now it's an anxious energy instead of a calm energy. So that's why we use it a lot in pranayama. We use this breath because we're controlling the energy in the body. And like I just showed you, the more I, that makes my body start to be more anxious and more worried, and my shoulders hunch, my body curls in. But when I take those deep, long breaths, we relax the shoulders, we relax the energy, the heart rate slows. So in a gross reality, in a scientific sense, we're talking about the breath exchange, gases in and out of our body, CO2, oxygen coming in and out, giving ourselves life force, that vital energy that we talked about. But on a subtle element, it's life itself, is it not? That prana, that energy, receiving that energy, whether it is that oxygen, or like I said, when we're taking that deep breath to relax ourselves, we're receiving that energy to calm what's ever happening in the body. There's also something called apana, so prana and apana, and that's letting go. So as we exhale, it's apana, leaving. So we're letting go. If we inhale that deep breath, we can feel the heart rate slow. And then as we exhale, we feel that energy slow down. And if you've ever been in a meditation class, the more you do that, you can slow the respiration rate, you can slow the heart rate, and really get out of that fight or flight response and get into that really ability to not just react, but respond. And we want to get out of that reaction. We want to get into that responding, both to our body and to our external field. So like I said, we're receiving this life energy, we're putting it into the body, and we're integrating it. I love that Brian said that the big thing about this STROLO-U is we're integrating it into our daily lives. And you will have homework at the end, only 5 minutes. Don't kill me, you'll have homework, but it's okay. But in the yogic sense, because I am a yogi, I do teach yoga, we are letting go of things that stop us from getting closer to ourselves. Like when we're in our mind all day and we're stressed out and we're thinking about tomorrow or the next day or yesterday, we're not really connected to the body. Our mind is somewhere so far away that we're not connected to the here and now. We're not connected to our body. That's why a lot of the times people say, breathe, just breathe it in, breathe it out, because that brings us back to our center. That brings us back to this consciousness. So just like there's that breath exchange, that CO2 and oxygen, there's that energy exchange too that you can physically feel when you do take those deep breaths from anxious to relaxed. So breathing, I want us to kind of think of as we go through today, not just as breathing to live, as in we need oxygen to fuel our body and live, but breathing as an immediate physical response to the emotions that are going on in our body. Example, that deep breath or that anxious breath. This breath is a way that we can tune into what's going on inside ourselves, not only in our mind, but in our body. If you stub your toe, what do you immediately go? The body is communicating, and the breath is such a visceral way to communicate, to tap into our emotional body and even physical body. So we can go days without food or water, but we can only go a few minutes without air. So just think of that and think of how important this exchange must be, not only the scientific, but also the energetic. If we're breathing at that hyper oxygenating breath all day, we're not going to be really breathing. We're not going to be getting that oxygen into our bones and into our breath. We need to be sitting there and being conscious of this breath, and being conscious of this breath will then slowly snowball into so many other elements of our life. And you'll be able to notice, even in traffic, if that shoulders start to come up, if the breath starts to keep going, you'll be able to say, hey, I noticed that, let me do something. And you'll be able to start seeing those little red flags of your body saying, whoa, 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 stop, help me. And you go, okay, I know how to help you. Let me focus on my breath. Let me focus on where I'm feeling it in my breath. Am I feeling it in my throat? Am I feeling it in my heart, my belly? What is my body trying to say? And it's really just that pause. It's that pausing, the breath, and then reacting. I know we all think of a beer when I say it, but it's PBR. You pause, you breathe, and then you react. It's taking that step back to say, okay, hold on, something's happening. Let me pause, let me breathe, Now let me react. Let's see what my body's trying to tell me so I can react properly. So going with that today. Oh, yes,
Chelsea, I just want to interject. I think you should copyright that for a commercial.
One day.
It's brilliant.
I'll tell PBR that that's their new slogan. By the way, I've been using this for so long, so you can stop with your beer.
My mindfulness just put one in my hand.
I will breathe as I do it. It's okay.
Sorry.
Oh, no, you're completely fine. Brian, are you able to look at Facebook and see if there's any questions as the live is going on before we get into a meditation part? Cool. While Brian is looking that up, like we said, this is our goal of today, that pranayama. I want you to keep that in your mind as we go through. We're going to do a little bit of a guided meditation, and then I'm leaving time at the end for some journaling prompts and some questions. So we'll see. Are there any questions, Brian?
Not yet. So I'll keep my eye on it, and if they do come up, I'll pop them in the chat window here.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Well, moving past our little introduction, now that we know in our brain, know in our brain that breathing is not just about, we breathe because we have to live. Breathing is a response mechanism as well to what's going on in our mind and our body, our emotional body, our physical body, a spiritual body, whatever you resonate with. That breath is a huge key factor into feeling into what's happening in the body. So as we go through, I'd love for you to really anchor into that notion that the breath is not just inhale, exhale to breathe. Breath also is that release of energy, that transfer of the anxiety to the calm, the ease to the hard. It's that transfer. So trying to keep in mind of that. And I would love to invite you to come to whatever a comfortable space looks like. I'll be sitting here in my virtual library, but you can feel free to sit on a meditation cushion. You can sit up against a wall. I even lay down. Whatever position is most comfortable to you, just find a comfortable position now, and we'll get into a little bit of a meditation to really integrate this into the body. So I'll let you take a moment. If you have any nice meditation music you like to put on, feel free to grab your phone, put on that in the background. But I'd love us to just take a moment when we get here. When you get to your nice, comfortable seat, your nice, comfortable laying position, close the eyes. I'd love us to close the eyes and begin to tap into the breath. Tap into what the breath feels like today. With CF, a lot of us have an interesting relationship to the breath. It might not be the most revered or positive relationship with the breath, or maybe there's some attachments around what we expect the breath to be, and that's okay. Giving yourself the space right now to have the feelings that come up. What we resist persists. So if we resist the feeling that we don't like connecting to our breath, we're going to feel that every time we try and connect to the breath. So whatever comes up right now as we're trying to take those deep breaths, let it come up, let it be organic. This is also a starting point. If you continue this after today, you'll notice that maybe these thoughts or these initial reactions start to change as you connect to the breath more. This isn't just something you do once and forget about. It's something that I invite you to bring in every day, every other day, as much as is possible, even for a minute. We're going to sit here with our eyes closed and begin to take even deeper breaths. I invite you to place your hands on the belly. Breathe into the belly. Feeling that expansion on the inhale And gentle release on the exhale of the belly. Next, I invite you to bring your hands up to the side of your rib cage, making little mitten hands, placing the thumbs on the back and the fingertips towards the front. You can relax the shoulders down if you're seated, just placing the hands there on the side and breathe into the rib cage. You'll notice it gently splays out to the side. The ribs are anchored to both the sternum and the spine. So breathing into this space right here. Maybe you just feel it move slightly out to the side, and that's okay. And then gently release the hands. Bring the hands up to the collarbone. So the fingertips touch the collarbone, just on the upper chest. If you are seated, just relax the hands as much as you can. And then inhale up into the fingers. You'll feel the palms gently rise with the inhale. And on the exhale, you'll feel them gently relaxing down. Breathing into this upper chest area. Beautiful. And then relax the hands down to the side. I encourage you to keep the eyes closed for this next breath. And now we're going to combine all three elements. So on your next inhale, feel the air fill up the belly, fill the ribs, and then fill the upper chest. And gently release your exhale, not forcing it out, just letting it out as it comes naturally. And again, inhaling into that belly, into the ribs and the chest. Exhale it out. Doing a few more with your breath, maybe letting your mind move from one position to the next without having to use your hands this time. Maybe using this as a moment to explore the breath. Maybe you're breathing a little deeper than you normally do. Maybe not. However you're breathing today is perfectly fine. Sometimes the hardest thing is to let go of our attachment of what should be or how it should be. Let the breath just be right now. And let that next breath be your last one. Letting out a long exhale, releasing any of the attachment to the belly, ribs, or chest. And I want us to begin to think about what our relationship is to this breath. It might sound silly, but I want you to think of a negative sentence that you've said to yourself about your breath. Maybe it's that, I hate my breath. I can't breathe that deeply. My lungs are crap. Just thinking of a negative notion that you've said to yourself, a false narrative, because no one's lungs are crap. Our lungs are exactly how they are in our body. Hating them is not going to change them in this moment. So I want you to give that notion of our breath a little bit of love right now. I want you to visualize, maybe it's the words, maybe it's just a experience. I want you to see that moment in your mind of when you tell yourself this. Maybe it's running, maybe it's doing something hard, but visualize those words or that experience, maybe with the eyes closed. And visualize yourself encompassing this in a beautiful white glow. Maybe it's that scene of the words. And with the next inhale, Breathe in that white glow, and on the exhale, as if you're blowing out a straw, blow away that scene in your mind. Blow away that negativity, blowing away that false narrative. Do it again. You need to do it a few times. As we inhale, that light grows bigger. And as we exhale, we blow away that negativity. Get it away from us. We don't need that anymore. One more time. Breathe that in and blow out that negative narrative. In this space, feel that light, feel that warmth, feel that warm white light that we've breathed in with our inhales. Feel it begin to anchor into the chest. Feel it anchoring into the chest, into the heart center. And with each inhale and exhale, feel that inhale, it grows bigger. And exhale, it slowly trickles into more areas. Inhale, it grows a little bigger. And exhale, it trickles into more areas. Maybe you can feel it on either side of your chest now. The chest walls glowing with this light. Breathing in this space and anchoring from this space. Feeling ourselves relaxed, this deep breath, fully relaxing the body. And as we lay or sit here, bring your awareness to your sense of hearing. Allow the mind to move from sound to sound without needing to identify where it's coming from. Maybe your attention goes to the sounds outside of the room you're in the environment around us. Now bring your attention to the sounds within the room that you're in. Maybe you hear a fan, some rustling in the house. But allow your consciousness to slowly melt away and just experience your sense of hearing. Maybe you can begin to hear into the body, hear into the breath. You can hear that ocean-like inhale and exhale. Like the tides on an ocean beach, slowly coming in and then receding. Just in and out, just as they are. And slowly bring that attention within the body even more. Maybe you can hear the lungs. Maybe you've never tried to before. Maybe you hear any crackles that normally you just reject, but maybe just listen for a moment. Listen to your body. Get in tune with what your body sounds like. Not what it should sound like, but what your body does sound like. Maybe the digestive system or the blood flowing throughout the body. Maybe just have a moment where you experience being fully alive in this body. Maybe in this moment, you'd like to create an intention around the breath for yourself. Maybe a goal. Maybe a new relationship you'd like to have with it. Maybe gratitude. Whatever intention comes up around this breath, this pranayama, let that be there. Maybe saying it in the mind or saying it to yourself if you're alone. I know mine is that I want to love all aspects of my breath because my breath allows me to live my life. Even the days it slows me down, even the days it seems hard, it shows up every day for me. So I want to love that a little bit more. How do you want your relationship with your breath to be? Maybe just think of that in your mind right now. Maybe right now it's not that great. Maybe it's a negative or a relationship you're working on. What is your goal? What is the ideal relationship that you could have with your breath? What would be your goal? When someone in a yoga class or in a class like this mentions that we'll be doing breathing, how do you want your reaction to be? I bet you want your reaction to be a little different than it might be right now. And that's okay, because we're going to work on that. So for the next few moments, I want you to focus right now on that breath. We'll only spend a few more moments here. But feeling back into that chest, into that golden white glow that we have for ourselves. Feel that warmth. It's slowly melting away any tension in the intercostal muscles, any tension in the chest, in the sternum, in the back. Maybe it's releasing tension on the shoulders that normally begin to gently hunch forward. Maybe they start to relax back more. And we take those deep breaths, inviting in that energy that we want. How do you want your relationship to be? Breathe that in. Breathe in that positive energy. Think of what you want in the mind. And when we breathe in, remember, we receive. And when we exhale, we rid the body of toxins. That's CO2. We rid it of the CO2. We rid it of any energy that we don't want in the body. Remember, we blew away that negative emotion, that negative thought of the breath. So think of it like that, that inhale right now, bringing in what you want your relationship to be. And on that exhale, you're dispelling how you feel right now or those negative notions around the breath. Going for 3 more breaths right now. Deep inhale, bring in that energy. And big exhale, let go of any ideas. Inhale, big breath, bring in that positivity. And exhale, let go of those negative narratives. Last one, maybe the deepest breath you've done all day. Deep inhale. And exhale, let it go. If you're laying or sitting, gently place the hands in front of us right now. Rub them together, creating some heat. Rub, 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 rub. And then place those hands right on the heart, one on top of another. Close the eyes. Feel that heat going into the body. Giving yourself a little bit of love. Saying either out loud or in your mind right now, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanking the breath for what it is and forgiving the breath for what it's not. And together we gently release the hands. If you're laying down, you can roll to one side and gently bring yourself up to a nice comfortable seat. And we slowly blink the eyes open. And when you get here, I'll have a few journal prompts for you. So just grab your journaling book, grab your piece of paper. And again, you can write these down and come back to them later. But I'll give you a few moments to write down your answers right now. So when you're ready, our first question for you to reflect on is, what relationship do you have with your breath? How do you feel about your breath? So what is that relationship that you have today? How did you wake up today feeling about the breath? Or what is that relationship like right now? It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be great. It's just an honest answer. What is that relationship like? And that next question, I'll let you finish up with our first, remembering that we can always come back. You can always watch this video again. But our second question is what we've done in our meditation. How do you want your relationship with your breath to be? What is your ideal goal relationship? How do you want to immediately react to the breath? What is that goal relationship with your breath that you want? So again, what is that ideal relationship that you can have? Again, you can always come back later. Our third and final question for this topic is, how can we change our initial or answer to number one relationship to the breath to our goal or answer to number two? How can you initiate that change? Is it a daily meditation? Is it a sticky note on the mirror? Is it a mantra? How can you change that answer to number one into number two? And maybe set attainable goals like, yep, I can journal for a minute every day about it. Set attainable goals. So like I said, you will have homework for this class. You don't have to do it, but I encourage you to do it because your answer to number one will not change to number two overnight. It won't just flick a switch because you came to this class. I'm not that amazing yet. So your homework is on your own to do 5 minutes of breathing a day. Maybe that's at your desk during a break. Maybe that is in the morning right when you wake up before you start your day, or at night. Whenever you can fit it in, set a timer on your phone. Set a 5-minute playlist that you love to just sit and do exactly as we did here. Maybe you'd like to come back to that belly, rib, chest breathing. Maybe that helps you. Or I know what helps me is I'll count. I'll inhale for a count of 4. I'll exhale for a count of 4. So just whatever you can anchor your mind to so your mind doesn't go think about tacos or anything else. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking is every day, just spend 5 minutes breathing, focusing on the breath, and especially focusing on the thoughts that are happening as you're doing this exercise. And maybe journal, just like you did right now. Journal what came up. You know, my breath really sucked today, but I had that answer to number 2. Okay, how do I fix that? How can I change how I feel right now? And just work on it. It's not going to happen overnight. Give yourself a little bit of some solace that it's okay. Next week when you do this, you might still feel the same as right now, and that's okay. But just work on it. It's a progress. We've spent how many years of our lives being alive probably not having that greater relationship with our breath. So it will take a little bit to unwire those wires, and that's okay too. But that is our breathing class today. I hope you all stuck with me through it and were able to get through, and I hope you do homework because it is useful. But thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. That was awesome. I'm really bad at meditating and slowing down my breath. I always breathe too fast, and just taking deep, relaxing breaths is definitely necessary. Anxiety and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I found this very helpful, and I'm sure other people with cystic fibrosis will find this helpful as well. Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And I especially appreciated, I think, nearly the last thing that you said about us maybe not, with CF, not having a best relationship with our breath. And yes, during the exercise of writing down what your relationship was with your breath, I acknowledged that it wasn't all positive. But I felt bad about that. Is that okay? And then hearing you say that it really did open my eyes up to the validation of our relationship, no matter what it may be, but that we do have a choice over it.
Yeah, we've been trained for how long that the PFT number isn't the best. You know, I can't do that long of a distance running. Like we've been trained
Yep.
so much of our life that, oh, well, my breath isn't good enough compared to this or compared to that. And kind of rewiring it and just saying, no, it's okay. Just like, you know, if your shoulder was injured, you wouldn't imagine to go be an MLB pitcher the next day. Like, let's just be okay with sometimes having not the best abilities compared to someone who runs triathlons.
Yeah.
Like, let's have realistic goals and learn how to love ourselves no matter what, which is
Yeah.
hard and it's not easy.
Yeah.
Believe me.
And even the appreciation of like, for those fortunate that like your lung function is on par with your peers, or that you are not tied to oxygen 24/7, or even when you have the ability to exercise enough to offset some of your treatments, and having that work for you. Again, this is not medical advice.
Yes.
But that sense of appreciation, and my 2 words that I wrote down was neglectfulness and appreciation. Because I do forget about it sometimes, and I do find myself in those tense moments, all crimped up and probably shallow breathing when I don't even know it. But
that's all it is. It's bringing the awareness, because sometimes a lot of us breathe from like here up and we don't even take, like some of us, I bet that was the first deep breath we've taken all day. And in the East Coast, it's almost 7 o'clock. That may have been the first time where they just sat down and went, all right, let me just take a full breath and relax my shoulders. And oh, wow, I feel a lot better. It's like, you can do that throughout the day and invite that in as many times as you want. It's in you. It's not a tool you need to go buy. It's here the whole time.
Yeah. And I think one of the dangers too in this past year has been the screen time and the posture of being hunched over in front of blue light.
Yep, exactly.
That, you know, I find myself.
What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are you wearing? But even like the phone, just the neck crunch of our phone and like the upper lobes of our lungs being crunched in that position unknowingly. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm definitely putting on my birthday list one of those shoulder strap harnesses. Like
I wanted one of those too. They look so great.
Yeah, they gotta work. They gotta.
Oh, well, Brian, did you see if we had any questions? I know people will probably be watching later, so there might be later on, but.
Right, sorry, I got too centered and totally forgot you watching.
You're fine. I'll pop in, for anyone watching, I'll pop into the questions later and happy to answer any questions that come in as people watch it or anything like that.
Great. The live feed seems pretty quiet at the moment, so yeah, keep your eye out. I know we get quite a few views and shares afterwards, so I think this will be something that people can truly find value in if they can quiet their day for 45 minutes.
Too.
Yes,
it's hard.
I tried to keep it condensed enough, but you know, it never happens.
Yeah, it's not 45 minutes, maybe 10 minutes for them or 5 minutes at least.
Right.
We'll do a spin-off. It's okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I know you got another class that you're going to be getting to, so I just want to respect your time and honor your presence and thank you so deeply for your support, and for those of us watching the video, whether it's now or later. And just another quick shout out as a thank you to the companies that have been making this possible. I'm going to throw up their quick little thank you: Chiesi, Viatris, Nestle Health Science, and Translate Bio. Could not do this without you, and the gratitude for that support is immense. So please check back on cflf.org/strolo-u. And Friday, we've got tomorrow a really awesome class at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So it's focused on some of the research updates of exercise and cystic fibrosis and what's been happening in the research community regarding this. Especially in light of such drastic changes with the CFTR modulators having a significant impact on a substantial portion of the population. So how is that affecting exercise from different angles. But this has been wonderful, and I need to stop sharing my screen. I was like, why can't I see it? But thank you
Thank
again.
you so much. Yeah, thank you
Yeah,
for the
Thanks so much,
opportunity.
Chelsea.
Absolutely. And please come back to join us for any classes, and hopefully we'll be able to get you in for some classes in the fall as well.
Yeah, I think I'm here next week too. So if anyone wants to
Great.
come
Yes.
on in, I'll be here.
Very
Yay.
exciting. Thank you so much.
Thursdays,
Thank
6 o'clock Eastern time. Come watch with Chelsea. Take a deep breath.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank
Enjoy
you
the
all.
rest of
Have a
your
good
day.
night.
Thank you.
Have a
All
good
right.
one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.